Just up the Hudson River from Jehovah's Witnesses World Headquarters in Brooklyn, New York, lies the town of Newburgh. Known as the Crossroads of the Northeast, it is situated midway between Jehovah's Witnesses Educational Facility in Paterson, New York, and their printery in Wallkill, New York. It is a perfect location for an assembly hall to support our commission to preach the good news of God's kingdom throughout the earth. October 19, 2002. For hundreds of Jehovah's people who'd put their hearts and souls into building the Newburgh Assembly Hall, this was an unforgettable day. They gathered to rejoice in the results of their efforts. They enjoyed warm fellowship, shared experiences, and 2,500 voices joined in praising Jehovah for this new center of true worship. The dedication program began with a warm welcome.
Welcome to the Newburgh Assembly Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. How do you like your new assembly hall? You're cutting into my time here.
Assembly halls have played an important role in advancing pure worship. Local circuits used the Monroe Assembly Hall beginning in 1973, but in 1996 the Assembly Hall Committee began the process of selling that hall and acquiring property to build a new one. It was a long, challenging process to select the best site for the new hall and obtain permission to build.
Recently, a brother was discussing about how long it takes to build a kingdom hall. And he was reminiscing, he said, years ago, it used to take us only 3 days to get a building permit and 3 years to build a kingdom hall. He said, now, it takes us 3 years to get a building permit and 3 days to build a kingdom hall.
The brothers purchased property in Kent, New York, but after 4 years they were still struggling to obtain the necessary permits.
We would like to show you the volumes that we put together for our study on Kent. First was the main body made up of 18 separate chapters. The second volume was part of the detailed engineering studies that we had to provide, and this was done through consultants. The third volume basically was our traffic study, also a good-sized volume, and yet there was a fourth volume. That was our water study.
What did we have to produce for the same assembly hall here in Newburgh? What did we have to produce?
We provided adequate environmental studies in one volume, plus some sets of plans.
Newburgh was not the only alternate location that was considered. The elders from the local circuits had commissioned the project team to pursue 2 sites and pray for Jehovah's direction in choosing one. The second site was in Cheshire, Connecticut.
Well, the Friends wanted to have an assembly hall with Jehovah's name on it in the area. They were excited about it, and certainly I was too. Did I tell you I live 3 miles away?
Oh.
I didn't know. It's all right. Okay. I shouldn't have brought that up. And we were encouraged, but once the decision was made and everybody pretty much voted on what site to have, and we got direction from society and the branch, so forth, and we saw the wisdom in it, and everybody unified. And that was the wonderful thing about us, to see how Jehovah's people all speak with one voice. Once they knew that Newburgh was the site, then everybody said that's where their efforts would be.
Once Newburgh was selected, everyone supported the decision with all their hearts.
Friends, I know you know that this beautiful building, this magnificent building, could not have been constructed without Jehovah's blessings. I think you're going to find the next part, we're going to see some highlights of those blessings. The title of this part is Building a House of Worship with Jehovah's Blessing.
It would be appropriate just to look in our Bibles at Psalms 127 and verse number 1, because it will really set the setting for our part now. And here in Psalms 127 and verse 1 it says, "Unless Jehovah himself builds the house, it is to no avail that its workers have worked hard on it." And in reading that scripture, I was really thinking of three things that really stand out about the project. First of all, that there were almost 10,000 volunteers that worked hard on it. And secondly, when we think of all the financial contributions that made it possible. And then finally, when we think about the prayers that went up by the thousands. We have 25,000 plus brothers and sisters. Our traveling brothers encouraged us time and again to keep the matter before Jehovah.
Here are some highlights of the construction.
Well, actually, our staff worked together in the permitting process for the site. However, this involved many local consultants. Along with that entire team, we brought together 13 properties to make the process work. Well, most in-town government really supported our project. However, the public hearing was actually an exhausting 3.5 hours before a packed house at Town Hall in Newburgh. It was actually an election year. The politicians that evening used our project as a soapbox to promote their political ideas. On the other hand, the neighbors actually came seeking information. That helped us really to improve the project. And weren't we thankful that on that evening the public hearing was closed, paving the way for site plan approval. On November the 8th, 2001, we had our land closing.
We built a new road, and the town agreed to name it Unity Place.
For all of us who worked on the project, Unity Place is where we unified our lives to build a house of worship to Jehovah. To us, it will always have a deeper meaning than simply the name of a road.
When the project began in November, it was clear that we needed administrative offices.
The local Newburgh congregations readily agreed to make one of their auditoriums available to us. Their sacrifice allowed us to take advantage of the mild winter for construction.
Our architect and engineers collaborated in finalizing the site and construction documents. Numerous professional consultants were involved. Design reviews were held on a daily basis.
One of the most valuable services that these offices provided was planning, and more planning. This resulted in individuals leaving the meetings with a singleness of purpose.
A drafting group was established for document control to provide all tradesmen with current drawings. Many of the planning and design meetings held during the winter and early spring required 50 to 100 sets of the latest drawings to be distributed. In late winter, spiritually qualified skilled workers began to arrive from all over North America, and we were ready to build. Mobilization on the site began on November 9, 2001. Equipment was brought in. Surveying began laying out the limits of construction. Thousands of trees were removed in just 3 days. Tree limbs and stumps were chipped for future landscaping use. Thousands of yards of topsoil were removed and stockpiled. On site, field office trailers and a kitchen were installed. Personnel office was established to receive the thousands of volunteers who would sacrifice their time to build this house of worship.
With land cleared and now that we were ready for construction, we were facing winter and wondering if it would stop us. Little did we know that we would be blessed with the warmest, driest winter since 1895. It enabled us to keep up the momentum as 70,000 cubic yards of earth were moved. A little snow never broke our stride.
Utilities had to be installed in the 2,800-foot-long road extension, now known as Unity Place. 6.5 miles of utilities were installed, including water, sewer, natural gas, telephone, cable TV, and electrical. Our excavators uncovered a major problem. There were 5,000 yards of rock that couldn't be removed with machinery. It had to be blasted out.
This seeming major problem actually became a blessing when an excavating company donated equipment to help us process that rock into a usable road-based material. Yes, tens of thousands of dollars were saved, and we felt like we were sitting on top of the world.
1 month later than planned, on March 7, 2002, the building permit was obtained. The next day, March 8, the first footings were poured.
This set the momentum for the building itself. But what about the schedule? Would there be problems since we were getting started a month later than anticipated?
As the building was starting to come out of the ground, some were concerned that the driving force of the project was the schedule. So the building committee and the key overseers scrutinized this concern. We knew that a schedule was important for the project to be successful, yet we all agreed that we would not let it control our thinking. This concern led us to develop the acronym SQU, which became our motto. We established that safety, quality, and unity should be the governing values for the entire project. The project must have unity, because if we couldn't enjoy working with one another, then we truly missed the real purpose of this experience. With these three governing values in place, then we felt the schedule would take care of itself. And it certainly did. We never distributed a schedule after this, and the Friends exceeded our expectations at every turn.
A key decision was made to hire a local contractor to help install the footings and build the foundation walls. Bringing together their specialized equipment and workforce, along with our local brothers, this 4-week process was cut in half. At the same time, under-slab utilities began what would have been a 3-week job. But through careful planning and calling in extra skill, this work was accomplished in just 1 week. Then backfilling began, and we suddenly realized that we would indeed be ready for the building in late March. It reminded us of the words of Nehemiah when he said that the people continued to have a heart for working.
On March 28, the first of 10 truckloads of steel arrived. Weeks of planning by our steel erectors was now put in motion, and the auditorium was erected in 1 day. Supporting steel was put in place, and the roofing operation began. First, the vapor barrier was installed, followed by insulation, and then 1.5 acres of roofing. Below the roofing, concrete slabs were poured. Then the concave sloped auditorium floor was installed in just a few days.
With a complicated floor design and being poured so quickly, would the quality be adequate? Well, our concerns evaporated when one professional carpet installer said, "This is the best slab we've ever worked on."
Scaffold was erected in the auditorium to allow interior work to begin. The framing crew began constructing the exterior walls. All told, they used 31 miles of steel stud framing. Outside scaffold was also erected to allow brickwork to begin. 180,000 bricks were laid, with many attractive details. Large mechanical equipment and ductwork were installed. Enough duct insulation was used to cover every square foot of floor in this building. Our electricians installed over 30 miles of wiring in this building, including power, controls, security, audio-video, computers, phones, then fire alarms. Our plumbers installed 5.5 miles of pipe, all of which had to be insulated. The next crew was just itching to get started. Wall insulation. Our large sheetrock crew hung over 6 acres of material. Close behind them were the sheetrock finishing crews. Then our plaster crew finished the attractive ceilings in the auditorium and entryway. Tiling was done in the bathrooms, apartments, lobby, baptism changing rooms, and pool deck. Walls needed to be painted. 2 truckloads of cabinets were set. 2 miles of custom wood trim was produced at Bethel and put to good use by our skilled Finnish carpentry crew. Specialized installers arrived to apply sound-absorbing wall fabric in the auditorium. Wall vinyl was hung with great care. An attractive feature is the polished granite adorning the courtroom counters and skirting the stage and baptism pool.
Just 5 months and 2 days after the first footing was poured, we were ready to start laying carpet.
A unique feature of the carpet in this building is the 18 by 18 inch carpet tiles, which allows damaged areas to be replaced in the future. The first week of August, work began on the beautiful Hudson Valley mural in our lobby. Elsewhere in the building, bathroom partitions and accessories were installed.
On August 10th, we were finally able to start the installation of the auditorium seating. And believe me, you have to move really fast to install 1,800 chairs in 3 days. And no, it's not a mistake that the rows are spaced so comfortably apart.
Furniture was moved into the apartments and final decorative touches were applied. Commissioning all equipment and systems was a huge, time-consuming task. Our specialists made sure that all building systems were balanced and operating as designed. Brothers from Pennsylvania installed 2.5 miles of curbs. Over 275 truckloads of asphalt were brought in to finish the parking lots and road. Landscaped gardens added a nice finishing touch. And so did the attractive signs at the entrance. Without our tireless support staff, this hall could never have been built.
Purchasing was able to accomplish over 2,500 separate purchase orders and 20,000 individual line items. Receiving was responsible for accepting all of the materials on site and checking the accuracy of those orders. Then they would notify the material handling team that would be able then to move all of those materials promptly to the installers. Expediting was a key. Brothers always had things that they had an immediate need for, so the expediters would go out and pick them up. Accounting was matched invoices to purchase orders and receipts. They also resolved invoice discrepancies with the suppliers and then made timely payment to them.
Our room department coordinated over 400 rooms from around the neighboring congregations, along with 40 rooms at Watchtower Farms. This provided us with a very interesting statistic. As of October 2nd, 2002, we had 200 days without a homeless person. And then, of course, many who volunteered their homes in this way felt that it was their way of contributing to this project. And as a result, there were some lifelong friendships established. Our spiritual program was a very special feature of everyone. Every morning, Monday through Friday, we had morning worship starting at 7 o'clock. All those who were regular attendees participated in this, including assigned chairmen and assigned commenters, much like Bethel Home throughout the world. Also on Saturday mornings, we had a discussion of the text before work started, provided everyone with a spiritual uplift, and also an opportunity to give special instructions for the rest of the day. And on Sunday, we had the Watchtower study. Another very favorite aspect was food service. Now, food service was provided by brothers from all over New York and Connecticut, hundreds of volunteers helping to serve the food 7 days a week, 3 meals a day. Before this program started, we received the instruction at Watchtower Farms on how to safely handle food. And because of that, we served over 91,000 meals without anyone getting sick. And this all started every day at 4 in the morning and worked sometimes till late in the evening. Truly, we could say they were rendering sacred service day and night.
Over 700 volunteers supported the site attendance and security. They controlled the front gate, coordinated parking, and managed the busiest intersection in Newburgh.
Safety was a daily feature for every crew. Over 1,500 documented safety meetings were held. A trained safety crew provided an independent view as they monitor activities on the entire site. They would give reminders and take action to keep the work site safe.
Be careful.
You might ask, was all this attention to safety successful? Well, absolutely it was. The only downside is it made first aid the loneliest job on the project.
Our vigilant cleaning department removed tons of scraps and packaging. They filled 195 30-yard dumpsters. After hours, our local congregations cleaned construction offices and support areas.
Did you notice anything unusual about the workforce of this construction site? If so, you're not alone. When visitors would come on the site, some of their first comments were, "Where did all the women come from?" Or, "How did they learn to work like this?" And then it would be followed up with a common theme, "Everyone's so happy and friendly." And it really was heartwarming to see how many sisters worked on this project. They made up 40% of our workforce. You might wonder, how did the overseers feel about all these sisters on their crew? Well, one overseer is quoted with over 550 tons of iron and 100,000 bolts. It was time to call out the army, the large army of women spoken of in Psalms. There wasn't a bolt or piece of iron that the hard-working hands of our sisters didn't touch. Our dear sisters worked hard morning till night, smiling and happy, with a warm SQU to start the day.
We would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge another vital area of support. This we call back home support. There were so many Assembly Hall widows and widowers during the course of the project. The only way that they knew what was going on was by means of the newsletters and also experiences that would be brought home every night. Our volunteers could not have been here if it were not for the support of husbands and wives, their families, and congregations back home. We genuinely thank you very much. Well, that's how it was all supposed to end. If we can go back to early September 9th. At that time, the Core family was heading home. Permission had been given to build the road. That was the only real construction left. The punch list was really now being completed. And planning was really just focusing on the dedication.
And then there was that one more unexpected, heart-wrenching event that was to punctuate this project.
I'll never forget the day I got the phone call, and it said, "Get to the Assembly Hall, it's on fire." And then the comment was added, "You can forget about the October 19th dedication."
Let's watch the footage.
Then there was a little setback in the project. At about 3:30 in the afternoon, a construction accident occurred. A fire started just outside the multipurpose room. Immediately, the building was evacuated as workers frantically tried to stop the spread of the fire. Within minutes, local fire companies responded to the 911 call. All told, 17 fire companies and over 200 firefighters worked to save the building. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. Only one volunteer sustained a minor cut. The brothers were allowed back in the building at 10:30 p.m. What they found was a totally destroyed multipurpose room and substantial damage to the south entrance and lobby. Smoke had spread throughout the entire building. Clearly, a major cleanup was going to be needed.
They had planned an October 19th dedication. They're still hoping to hit that date. Officials overseeing the construction of the Jehovah's Witnesses Assembly Hall in the town of Newburgh were today overseeing the cleanup and damage assessment following the fire yesterday afternoon that ripped through a portion of the structure. Firemen from 3 counties contained the fire damage to about 30% of the building. Church leaders were grateful for the effort.
The auditorium, as you've seen, is still intact, and it's going to set us back, but we're grateful the damage was not more than it was.
The following day, there was an incredible show of support. Without being asked, over 300 volunteers arrived at the assembly hall to help clean up and rebuild. Workers began removing the damaged furniture, drywall, insulation, and electrical fixtures. Damaged exterior sheet metal also needed to be removed. Brothers who were professionals at smoke damage restoration were called in. They began the huge job of cleaning up the undamaged portion of the building. That evening, trucks from the local watchtower facilities delivered scaffolding, and it was staged around the damaged exterior portion of the building. Work began to restore the multi-purpose room. Skilled workers began repairing structural steel and sheet metal that had been damaged. The restoration experts taught workers how to clean smoke-damaged seats, carpets, and walls. 40 to 50 brothers and sisters began cleaning in the main auditorium. Positive press coverage resulted from the brothers and sisters' response to the disaster. The United States Branch Committee was directed by the governing body to visit the job site and encourage the brothers.
It's how we handle situations that really determines what we're made of.
Members of the Branch Committee came to tour and give encouraging talks to the workers.
We were supposed to come and give you a little encouragement. I must make a confession. I don't think you're going to be any more encouraged than we are. When you come and see a building like this, you come and see volunteers like you, there's no way that you can go away not encouraged.
As work progressed, suppliers were able to deliver much of what was needed, but the volunteers were working faster than suppliers could supply. Within 18 days, the multi-purpose room was completely reconstructed and refinished.
Obedient humans have to Jehovah always been more valuable than any inanimate matter. The building in which we are assembled is beautiful in appearance. It has an elevated use. But among the most breathtaking aspects of it are the beautiful, devoted servants who assembled to construct it. And these are the same faces I see now as I look out, only cleaner. We would like you to become better acquainted with a few of these workers. What else besides your assignment did you enjoy about being on this project?
I have to say that was morning worship. And the reason was because I was able to hear expressions of faith by such a variety of brothers and sisters. Often these comments thus were then the basis for our conversations throughout the day. Starting every day on such a spiritual note helped me really to keep my focus as to why I was here.
Well, I've been in construction for 35 years, and this was, without a doubt, the best safety program I've ever seen in my life. There's anywhere from 1 to 3 safety meetings each and every day. And not only that, but we saw the brothers, as you saw in the video, they were all around the building at all times, watching out for us and guarding over our safety. I mean, there's no organization anywhere in the world today that cares and loves their people so much as Jehovah's organization.
The men that were charged with the very heavy responsibility of overseeing this entire project were primarily spiritual men, and they demonstrated that in the way they dealt with us. So when we got directions about what to do and how to do it, we saw the qualities of God's Word being demonstrated there. And we were just happy to do it. We wanted to do it because it was being directed by Holy Spirit.
As the next speaker pointed out, 3 regional building committees provided over 3,000 workers for the project. Thousands more came in as day workers, as many as 700 on some days.
The good news is we have every confidence that we're going to be coming in under budget. And that's a contributing factor for many reasons. One of them is because we had such a compressed construction schedule that we only had the overhead for about 6 months instead of what could have been for a year or year and a half.
And then, the highlight of the program.
And we're very privileged today to have Brother Theodore Jarris from the Bethel family and the governing body that will present the information for us. So let's give our attention now to Brother Jarris.
Well, maybe as you went through the facility, you may have said, my, how attractive, and yet so modest. And then it's so spacious, functional. Well, whatever your expressions are, I think we can all agree that the sum and substance is what a marvelous credit it is to the organization, and above all, a praise to our God Jehovah, to whom this facility is being dedicated. I don't mind your cutting in on my time because there's no closing hour for the talk. But don't be afraid.
Brother Jarris pointed out the real value of the newly constructed building.
Well, material things and buildings may wear out or be lost, but the purpose behind it will remain. It will stand. And why can we be so sure? Well, according to the American Standard Version of the Bible, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 24 says, Jehovah of hosts has sworn, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. So it's not going to collapse. The purpose behind all of this construction on a global scale is going to have permanent effects for good on those who are going to live in Jehovah's righteous new world.
The Newburgh Assembly Hall will actively serve Jehovah's purpose in 3 important ways. The assemblies held there will make known Jehovah's name and what it stands for. They will teach Jehovah's Witnesses to seek first God's kingdom and to proclaim it zealously. And they will unite Jehovah's people by teaching the truth of His Word. Now, please join us in a brief tour of the Assembly Hall.
Welcome to the Newburgh, New York Assembly Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. This building serves as a worship center for over 25,000 of Jehovah's Witnesses in the southern New York and Connecticut area. It is one of 40 assembly halls in the United States. Please come inside and join us on a tour of our new facility. Upon entering the building, you'll want to put your coat in one of the 2 main lobby coat rooms. These rooms hold up to 1,500 coats. One of the main features in our assembly hall is this mural. It depicts a nearby Hudson River Valley scene. It took over 2 months to paint this 40-foot wide by 10-foot high work of art with oils on canvas. In it, over 80 animals native to this region are depicted. Now let's go into the main auditorium. The audio and video control room is located here at the back of the auditorium. The entire program is broadcast over FM radio so that those who are hard of hearing can comfortably hear the speakers. The video department rebroadcasts the program to offices and other work areas so that brothers and sisters who have assignments during the program do not miss out. The main auditorium seats approximately 1,800 people. This entire auditorium was scaffolded at one time so that the ceiling could be hand-plastered. The walls are enclosed by a fabric-covered acoustical insulation for better sound quality. Much thought was given to the comfort of the brothers and sisters who attend assemblies here. Every seat has a clear view of the platform. There is plenty of handicapped seating in each section. A digital projector is used to display the assembly theme and year text. This makes it easy to switch signs for each of the 3 language groups that use the assembly hall. In addition, the projector is used to display the baptism so that all can watch from their seats. The granite face of the stage and other areas of the assembly hall was mined in Brazil, then sent to Italy for finishing. The color is called Ubatuba. Behind the baptism pool are the changing rooms for the candidates. The multi-purpose room is used by the brothers who bring their lunch and eat it here during the intermission. The room seats up to 600 individuals, and there are counters located around the perimeter of the room at standing height. The television monitors show the baptism during lunch. We also use this room for small auxiliary meetings, such as the elders' meeting. Maintenance and mechanical rooms are located throughout the building. These areas house heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing equipment for the facility. A small workshop with tools is used to care for the maintenance of the building. The 5 apartments house caretakers and traveling ministers. Each has a bedroom, kitchen area, and living room. Thank you for joining us on our tour today. No doubt you will agree that this beautiful structure will prove to be a fine house of worship for God's people, as well as a great witness to His name.
The Newburgh Assembly Hall project enriched the lives of all those privileged to share in it. Here are a few of the outstanding memories they will always treasure.
In Matthew 19:29, Jesus said that if we give of our resources, we will receive many times more. What times do we remember? We remember many times of laughter. Times of disbelief. Times of communication. Times when families came together. Yes, there were many, many happy times. Finally, it was a time to make friends for a lifetime.